Yeah, let's go. I got a lot of things to talk to you guys about today, boy. What's up, guys? So we are going to talk about all of these different topics that I alluded to in my preview or in the title. So and we'll let people get on really quick, but yeah, I will outline it for you guys because that's what I do. And then I'll tell you guys something really cool about that. I'll tell you guys right now. This is $60,000 in fake money. Look. Oops. See up there? It says it's like over there. It's like movie money. See? Motion pictures only. I got it because I was gonna do some content with it. But as soon as it's in my hand, I was like, good God. I got to tell everybody how good it feels to have this much cash in your hand, even when it's not real. Like I can't stress this enough to you guys. Everybody should get their hands on bricks of fake cash. It feels almost as good as real cash. So I would highly recommend it. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the Jake Paul and Tommy Fury fight. I want to talk about the couple developments related to that fight that everybody should take fucking serious. Oh, how long have I been going for? Minute 50? Okay. You're not supposed to swear. On Amazon, you can get them. Get those fake bricks on Amazon. That's $45 worth of fake cash. 60 grand for $40 or $45. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the bet that they made for all the marbles. It's a very, very, very important thing to talk about, actually. Might not seem like it is, but it is. And then talk about Andrew Tate, because he got his stay in jail extended. And then we're going to talk about the Francis Ngannou situation with the leaked text messages. And I'm also going to talk about the funniest development of all time ever, having to do with that dude in Canada with those enormous prosthetic boobs. Okay? Because I called exactly what that was. I told everyone from the beginning exactly what that was. And I didn't hear anyone else say it, dude. Not a single other person said it. I know my hair looks weird just because I just got it cut and then I didn't do it myself. So it looks bizarre, but get over it, son. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. You guys want to hear something really funny though? So recently, everywhere I go, dude, everywhere I had gone, people were like, dude, you're looking huge, bro. And I'm like, really? And it's like so consistent. They're like, dude, you look big, man. Like, what are you doing that's different? And I'm like, nothing, man. No, I'm nothing. I'm not doing anything different. Vamp Diva, thank you very much. Thank you for the 5. I believe that's €5. Thank you. And so I'm like, maybe it's just because I've been training JIT so much that like, it's just finally catching up and like my muscles are just filling out, especially. So Gabrielle has this new energy drink called Perks. It's the bomb, dude. It's the cleanest, like, legal up. Like it's better than the peach tea. The one that I've been promoting forever. Like, I mean, not really promoting, but I've been telling you guys I drink it every day. It's the bomb. I drink it every single day. So I just finally said something to Gabrielle. I'm like, dude, people keep telling me that I'm huge right now. And I don't understand. Like, I'm not doing anything different. She's all, it's because there's creatine in the Perks. And I was like, wait, what? She's all, it's a pre-workout, dude. There's creatine in the Perks. And I was like, so I was getting drugged by my wife with creatine without knowing. And that's why I have 17-inch arms right now. Anyway, no, Marty, I have not. All right. So that's enough time for everybody to get on. Let's start talking about what we're going to talk about, which is we're going to start with Tommy Fury, and we're going to talk about the bet that him and Jake Paul made. Okay. So hilarious, dude. Hilarious. So regardless of, and by the way, I'm going to treat this, I'm going to basically, okay. So the topics I'm going to talk about in this live stream could each individually be their own videos. And so I'm going to try to do this live stream more like a video, because then I can kind of chop it up later and put it on the new, a new clips channel. So if you guys want to, you know, have me engage, just super chat it and I'll see it. It's not like a money drive. It's just like, I'm just going to try to like cleanly get through this, but I will always stop for super chats, of course. And thank you guys, for all the support. If you guys have not liked this stream, please go ahead and do that. And I will love you forever. And, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And, there is nothing about my eyes that are crazy like Phil Baroni's. Anyway, so Tommy Fury, Jake Paul fight tomorrow, or they fight on Sunday, actually. And I'm really excited for that fight, to be perfectly honest with you, dude. Like, I'm really very curious to see what happens there. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but the WBC announced that if Jake Paul beats Tommy Fury, that they're going to rank him officially. Like, he's going to become a ranked WBC fighter, which is awesome. It's a huge deal, dude. As far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's obvious. Tommy Fury is a professional boxer, obviously on the radar of the WBC. And so if Jake Paul wins, he'll get ranked, which is very, very, very cool. Yeah, so that's like one kind of underlying note. And in addition to that, though, going into the fight, you know, I've heard a lot of breakdowns about the, you know, how this is going to go. You know, I don't think it's as cut and dry as, I mean, I haven't heard anyone pick Tommy Fury to win. So listen, like, both these guys can bang. My opinion is that the reason why Tommy is being so heavily overlooked is because in his last fight, the one where he was on the same card as Jake Paul, he did not fight well. And so that would, and not just he didn't fight well, like, he didn't fight well for himself. Do you know what I mean? Like, for himself, he didn't look like a good version of himself, which would indicate that when the pressure's on, maybe he doesn't fight as well as he normally does, right? Jamie Wilson, thank you for the super chat. Speaking of supplements, I'm a pharmacist in the UK. If you want any info, be happy to help. We should definitely discuss that, my friend. Shoot me an email, my dude. realjesseonfire@gmail.com. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. So, I mean, listen, if every athlete could perform to the top of their capabilities anytime that they wanted to, you know, where it's like, oh, it's the, you know, it's the title fight and I want to be the best version of myself tonight. The fight game would look very different, because that's not what happens. It's not what happens. There are a million things, you know, there are a million things that are going to affect how a person performs in any athletic endeavor. And the number of eyeballs on it, the stakes of that fight are obviously extraordinarily important to how a person performs. And in the Tommy Fury fight previous, he was on the undercard for Jake Paul. We knew that they were trying to set that fight up. His opponent was very beatable and he didn't look very good. You know? So, like, did the pressure get to him? Because here's one thing that you could say. Now, it's not like, I've seen guys not step up when it's their time to shine, and then they end up having great performances later. You got to keep in mind, Tommy Fury's 23 years old, dude. He's 23. He's a baby. He's a baby. Okay? He's a baby. And, you know, so that, like, we can say that we don't, you know, like, a guy has a shaky performance when he's 22 years old. That's not a death nail to, you know, to his future as a combatant, right? But you look at a guy like Conor McGregor as an example, and, bottom line, when it was time for Conor to step up, when it was big fights, Conor stepped up every time. Look at guys like Kamaru Usman. When it was a big fight, he stepped up every time. He got caught slipping for 1 second in his entire career. In Kamaru Usman's entire career, he got caught slipping once for 1 second of one fight. Okay. You look at other guys that you could think, like Colby Covington. Colby Covington has never been caught slipping at all. Not even for a second. Colby Covington has put so much pressure on himself that it's kind of hard. It's kind of overwhelming to even really try to think about putting yourself in his position. And I realize I don't know what the hell he's doing right now. I don't know if he's still trying to fight. I have no idea what he's trying to do. But that guy steps up to the plate 100% of the time and performs 100% of the time. And some guys are just like that, and other guys aren't. Tommy Fury, you have one example of a really big fight where the lights were on and he didn't perform very well. So does that mean that that's how he's always going to do? Not necessarily. But you put it in the back of your brain bank. But if you go back to previous performances and you watch him fight in those previous performances, you compare the tape on him there to Jake Paul, the fight looks different. Now, Jake Paul's nasty, dude. If you guys follow my channel, I give lots of credit to Jake Paul. He's nasty. I see your guys' super chats. I'll get to him in a second. He's nasty, dude. So, if I have to pick, I'm picking Jake Paul. And the stylistic matchup is interesting. I would say just in terms of how they fought stylistically, Jake is more defense oriented and then attack, which sounds crazy to say, but it's true. And I've seen Tommy Fury a little bit more aggressive, leaves himself open a little bit more, so on and so forth. But what I think it's going to actually come down to is exactly what I was talking about from the beginning, which is their ability to perform under the lights. Jake Paul fought against Anderson Silva in his last fight. Huge fight, dude, for him. Huge fight for him. Like, I realize people are saying, like, he's 50 years old. It's true. It's true. But that's a huge fight for Jake Paul. Huge fight for Jake Paul. And look at what he did. He fought incredible and he won. And he's done well in all of his fights. And then you add on the other stuff. Like, you add on all the other stuff, which is Tommy Fury is fighting for his family's legacy. They've put so much pressure on this guy, like he has so much pressure put on by the family. You're out of the Fury family if you lose. That in and of itself. He's 23, dude. He's 23 years old. He's related to Tyson Fury. So you got that. And then you get Jake Paul, who trapped them into betting his entire purse on the fight. How could you have, it's genius by Jake Paul. It's genius by Jake Paul. And it's absurd for the Fury side to take it. Not because it's one of those things. It's like this is combat, dude. This is war. This is combat. It's fucking war, dude. And if you think that the only part of that is we're going to get into the octagon and we're going to punch each other, you're wrong. The warfare starts outside of the cage, outside of the ring. And so it's strategy. It's psychological games. And it's like, how can I get an edge on a guy? How is he going to fight worse? Jake Paul, if he loses if he doesn't make a dime on this fight, what's his financial future look like? Fine. Is Tommy Fury in the same situation financially? No, of course not. Of course not. And so explain to me how this bet is an even bet. It puts a titanic amount of pressure on Fury and none on Jake Paul. None. So it's a terrible bet, dude. It's a stupid bet to have taken, but it's an easy one to trap them into. It's like, hey, you guys are going to win, but you're 100%. This is the thing, dude. When you're like 20, well, actually, what am I talking about? Tommy Fury's dad is the one who agreed to it. But it's like, this is a simple, easy thing to trap a person into if you have a person who is not capable of being honest with themselves or publicly. You know what I mean? It's like, a part of what you're doing going into a fight is showing moxie and projecting 100% confidence, right? But at the same time, you're 100% confident. Like, you're 100% sure you're going to win. 100% sure. No one is 100% sure. You know what I mean? Like, no one's 100% sure. And so here, oh, dude, you're 100% sure, right? So here, why don't we go double or nothing on that purse? And Tommy Fury's like, whoa, and what I would be thinking in my mind is, I'm like, there's plenty on the line on this fight. Like, I would just be like, hey, guy, I already have plenty riding on this fight. Got the whole family riding on my back here. Like, I've got my whole family legacy on my back. I don't think I need to add anything else. The stakes can't get higher. I don't need your additional bet, dude. Thanks for the offer. The money's fine. I don't need your additional bet. That's what I would have said. But again, that's a real power play, right? The like, I'll take your bet. Fuck you. Not a power play. That's Jake Paul just stuck his thumb up your ass and got you to do the thing that he wanted you to do. Jake Paul wanted you to take the bet, and you took it. Okay? Jake Paul wanted you to take the bet, and you took it. You think you won? How could you have won? Like, people's inability to apply strategy is shocking to me. Is shocking. Like, the last thing you want to be as an opponent of any kind is predictable. Okay? You do not want to be predictable, because all you have then someone has to do is just poke you where they poke you, and they know exactly what you're going to do. They can get you to do whatever they want as long as they don't play stupid ego games. The ego is your enemy. I talk about this all the time, and I will say it again and use this as the example. The ego is your enemy. Okay? You want to know what what drives my ego is not having one, is applying correct strategy and winning. Like, if there's any ego for me, it's the ability to not respond to shit like that. Oh, what? I thought you're 100% confident. Yeah? Oh, good. Yeah. Because I don't have enough riding on this. Like that. I feel like, oh, gosh, if I want to maximize my performance, what I should probably do is throw more pressure on myself that doesn't apply to you. I'll tell you what, how about you take your bet and go fuck yourself? And then after I knock you out tomorrow, we could talk about going double or nothing on the rematch. So you could try to get your fucking reputation back that I just took out of your fucking throat tomorrow. Don't take the bet. But he used his ego against him. Actually, he used his dad's ego against him. And his dad's like, well, take that bet. Screw you, Jake Paul. It's like, Jesus. Just, bear trap, and they're all boo, 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 boo. Snack. Dumb. Anywho, let me get caught up on these super chats. MK, thank you very much, dude. Arm, I went and saw the orthopedist yesterday. I thought that they have an MRI machine there, so I thought I was going to get the MRI same day. I was wrong. I get the MRI on Wednesday, and then I have my follow-up that Monday, so I will know in like 10 days. But I have now officially figured out what movement hurts it the most, and it is as you take a hot round out of your firearm, that movement. So, grabbing this and pulling it back, that's what that movement, that's the one that hurts it the most, which is understandable because how I heard it was grabbing someone's leg and then pulling it as hard as I could. So we'll see. Bradley Knight, thank you very much, dude. Very generous. Thank you. Been watching your content forever now, bro. Love seeing how big your channel is getting. Keep it up. But thank you so much, man. I know it trips me out. Like, cause there are people who I interact with that I remember commenting back and forth with when I had 2,000 subscribers. I really genuinely appreciate the support more than I could tell you. Thank you, dude. Brett McGuire, O'Malley versus winner of Aljo and Henry on McGregor card. Are you suggesting that or that's official? Because that's genius. And absolutely they should fucking do that. Like, without a doubt, they should do that. Oh my God. Do you know how stoked O'Malley would be? You have any idea how stoked O'Malley would be? O'Malley would literally, I can't even imagine. He would be so fired up. The fans deserve that. That's the correct play too, dude. That is brilliant, my friend. I mean, so again, I'm not sure if you're saying that they've announced that, but if that's your idea, Brett McGuire, huge props to you because that is absolutely what they should do. Brilliant. Brilliant. The fight business as a strategic planner is about the transference of hype. You know, it's about the transference of attention, just like any other thing, right? The fight game is just like, I mean, YouTube is just like this, right? You know, you want to get visibility. You want people's eyeballs on you. How do you do that? You get people with a lot of eyeballs on them to engage with you. In the fight game, it's like you can either, you know, the best way to do it is to take it from another guy in the octagon. You get them as an opponent, you take it from them. But in this case, with Conor as the main event, and you got your next Conor McGregor right there, you put him in there for a title shot on the same card in the co-main. Brilliant. That is exactly what they should do. 100%. And I don't think they should have him fight before then, actually, because that's such a good idea. Excellent work, good sir. Brilliant, brilliant plan. Krill the Thrill, thank you very much, sir. Not a chance. Patty takes the Dober fight. He's scared. Why do you think that? I don't think that's accurate. I know my haircut looks weird, dude. Okay. I got the haircut and I didn't really have them do my hair the way that I normally would do it. And then I just got back and it was 7 minutes before I was supposed to go live, dude. Okay. I do believe that O'Malley will become a champion. Yes, I do. And I don't agree that Patty's scared, for the record. I don't. Jake Sleeps Mayweather. Thank you. And, but it is homo. I appreciate the compliment, but it's definitely homo. And I appreciate it more as a result. Matt Llewellyn. Thank you very much, sir. Dang, bro. It sucks with the injury. Actually, just left practice with a pulled groin from a bow and arrow choke from my buddy. Hope you get back to the mat soon. Dude, so a bow and arrow choke that he had you in? I don't understand. Wait, so he had you in a bow. Wait. How did you wait? Did you pulled your groin or you had him in a bow and arrow or he had you in a bow and arrow and you got your groin pulled? Dude, it fucking sucks, man. Like I've had 2 injuries. You know what? I'll show you guys a video of the first injury that I have the first injury that I got on video. This was like, when was this? This was about 15 months ago when this happened. So this was 15 months ago. I was still at Gracie Baja and I was wrestling this, I was rolling with this dude, this huge fucking guy. This guy's like 260 pounds. He's a white belt, but he had wrestling and I isolated his arm. He had just my foot trapped and I tried to transition straight from, I was like, going to free my leg and then transition immediately to an arm bar. But so I was holding his arm and he kept my foot just barely kept my foot trapped, so I couldn't transition to the armbar, and so I went straight over onto my head. I think you can see it here. You can't really see how bad that was, but I landed straight on my head, and you could see my reaction actually. Like I'm insta injured, dude. Watch, look at me trying to get up. Like I'm like, and then like I ripped my gi off because it felt like I was on fire. You know, like it literally felt like I was on fire because I had nerve damage in my neck. I couldn't feel hot or cold on my shoulder, neck. I couldn't feel hot or cold here at all for, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks or something. Like you could melt an ice cube on my trap and I couldn't tell you, I wouldn't notice except that I was wet. That's how completely numb it went, dude. It hurt so bad, dude. It hurt so bad. How would ego be related to that? What are you talking about? Exactly. Correct. Stinger in the neck. That's exactly what it was. It hurt. I mean, dude. Like I said, so on like I was an athlete my entire life. And I've been hurt. Like I've been hurt plenty of times. That was the first injury that I'd ever had. Like straight up where I knew instantaneously I was like, "Oh, I'm done for a while." You know, like it was like I'm not going to be able to train at all. It's not a matter of like could I fight through, it's like I'm injured. And then this one is the second one. So it's unfortunate. But basically, aside from when from that, I was out for about, I don't know. I don't think I trained again for about 5 weeks. It's probably out for about 5 weeks. And then since then, I've just done nothing but I train a lot. And then I switched schools over to Six Blades in May when they opened. Like the day that they opened is when I moved over there. That was the thing, is I was training at Gracie Baja knowing that I was going to Six Blades as soon as Victor and them open. But and no disrespect to any other schools, but I'm never leaving Six Blades ever. Not ever. You guys should come train with me. Dude, anytime any of you guys want to come train with me, you can come train any day that you want. Now, well, I mean, I'll be hurt. I'll probably still be there most days though, but I'm at Six Blades Lake Travis 4 days a week on the slowest possible week. But yeah. Yeah, see, that's a common misunderstanding. This is actually a large. You know, I don't know what happened, but I'm huge now. All right. So, here we go. I do want to hear about this. Snapped your bicep tendon doing jits. Had a guy in butterfly guard, underhooked and popped. Fuck. Wait, so, butterfly. So like when you pulled, like you were gonna butterfly sweep him, and when you pulled, it just popped. That's yikes. All right. So let's move right along. Okay, so Andrew Tate, we'll do that next. So, in case anybody was like absent from the anyone was absent from the I don't know, the news cycle last week, there was a leaked WhatsApp conversation between two of Andrew Tate's accusers that, if real, and I haven't heard anyone say that it's not real, is extraordinarily damning for them, for the accusers. Like, they literally just basically say, like, we're going to frame them and we're going to sell our story to Netflix. I mean, that's what they said, you know? And I mean, I don't know. What do you do with that, right? So that's last week. And then this week, they just announced that the Tates stay in jail got extended another 30 days. Okay. So they've been in there for 60 days. Okay. Andrew Tate's in isolation, basically. And they just extended another 30 days. They don't have a case. You know, they don't have a case. Brett McGuire, I missed your super chat. Hold up. Oh. Who draws more eyes? O'Malley versus Cejudo or Aljo? Cejudo. 100%. Thank you for the super chat. Andrew, I want to show you this tweet that Andrew Tate did. I don't know like what, like how he's getting these tweets out or who he's talking to. But this was this is his brand. Like, this needs to be his brand. Like, from now on, and I think that this is exactly what it will be. But this was like a really notable tweet that I read, and I was like, damn. He said, dude, where did it go? How are they this active? Wait, where'd it go? I don't know. It said something like, I'm locked in a cell 24 hours a day. And he went through what his exercise routine is every single day. And he basically was like, if you're doing less than this, then you have no excuse and you're failing. And I was like, damn, that's pretty hardcore, dude. But like, he also put this one up, dude. He said, there's a man in jail who got 17 years because his wife snitched. He can't stop talking about how much he misses her. Women have no idea how deeply a man can love. I was like, that's a fact, dude. That's a fact. That tripped me out because I was just thinking about how, like, there's nothing Gabrielle could do that could, like, break my emotional bond to her now. I mean, it's like, even if she just betrayed me in the most absolutely overt way ever, like, I would just be heartbroken forever, you know? Like, there's no, there's no disconnecting from her now, you know? It would just be like, if she did something like that and I couldn't be with her anymore, I would be just emotionally devastated for the rest of my life about it. You know, like, there would be it just is what it is. Anyway, but so he got extended for another 30 days, and it's like, how, like, what? I don't understand, dude. How are they doing this, dude? How are they doing this? I mean, and to me, this just now is screaming that this really is him being targeted, you know? Like, that's it. Like, that's what this feels like to me now. It's like he's being targeted. They're just showing him they can do whatever they want with him. You know, it's like, oh, you sure you want us as the enemy? Like, you want us as your enemy? And the thing is, now there's no, like, it's not, he can't undo the fact that he has made himself a combatant of the most powerful people in the world. Like, if a person goes viral like Andrew Tate, okay, he's on the radar permanently, right? And if these guys want to do you, they're going to do you, dude. Look at Alex Jones. Like, Alex Jones, same exact kind of thing. Like, Andrew Tate, I think that he is a more worthy adversary than Alex Jones because Alex Jones comes off crazy, right? Like, even if every single thing that Alex Jones has ever said turned out to be exactly 100% factually accurate, you still could paint him as a lunatic because of his delivery. You could make him look crazy because he looks crazy, you know? But Andrew Tate That's not the case. With Andrew Tate, you can't do that. You can't paint him as a lunatic because he's so well-spoken and he's so hyper-aware of how he comes off publicly. And you could tell that from his performances on like Pierce Morgan and other things. Like once he recognized the position that he was in, you could see this major shift in the things that he talked about, the way that he presented himself, which demonstrates hyper strong emotional intelligence. And Alex Jones does not have that. Like whatever Alex Jones has going on in terms of, because he's been right about a lot of really, really crazy things, but he doesn't know how to present himself at all. And so they could paint him as crazy. But to these people, like Andrew Tate's the bigger threat to them because he's so well-spoken. So I can guarantee you this. In the event that the charges do not go through and they don't go to trial and they let Andrew Tate out, these guys are going to be watching him like a hawk. They're going to see, what are you going to do now, dude? What are you going to say? Why don't you stick to motivation? Tell people to be motivated. How about you never say the word revolution ever again? How about revolution never comes out of your mouth ever again? How about you don't publicly undermine the global initiatives that we're working on for this reason or that? How about you don't do that unless you want to see what round 2 looks like, right? Like you could consider this because he's new on the scene. This could end. I mean, if I'm them, in all honesty, what I would do is I would do exactly what I'm doing, and then I would see if I could bring him in. He's a money hungry, insanely ambitious person. And he would be able to communicate concepts that I wanted implanted into the population's brain extremely confidently in a way that they wouldn't realize that they were being indoctrinated by him. I would try to bring him in. I would try to get him involved where he's taking our money now and he's on our side. But assuming, like, let's just say that they didn't do that, I would just be watching him like a hawk. This is the warning shot of all warning shots. We locked you in jail for 4 months just because we felt like it. Okay. Look at, dude, they got a judgment against Alex Jones for $900 billion or whatever. What? Or 900 million or whatever. I can't even remember what the number was. So absurd. What was that number actually? Alex Jones judgment amount. Yeah, he's ordered to pay $500 million. Oh, no. Alex Jones to pay over $1.4 billion to the families of that event that I'm definitely not going to say out loud. I mean, just $1.4 billion. That's all. It's like, there is not one bit of, there's no way to possibly justify that amount. The reason you're doing that amount is to make 100% sure that you bankrupt him and destroy him financially permanently. That's like, how do you come up with 1.4 billion? How could you possibly justify that number? They're like, what? Where'd you come up with 1.4 billion? We don't need to explain that to you. I mean, well, I do know how these things work. And normally a judgment is a number justified by the cost, of whatever happened over here. So they lost this income because of this. You can add on pain and suffering and things like that. But like 1.4 billion? What on earth are you talking about? And the Bohemian Grove thing, I'll tell you guys something funny about that, dude. Brad Woolham, thank you very much, dude. You're my favorite MMA channel. I'm a huge fan. Love the channel. Thank you, dude. I very much appreciate you, and you are my favorite dude right this moment. Thank you, brother. And Dennis, what's up? Thank you for the $5. Alex Jones was a CIA recruited. Alex Jones' father was a CIA recruited from Utah. He has clout. I don't know that, but I mean, nothing would surprise me. He seems to have landed on a lot of things that are accurate. But the Bohemian Grove thing, I'm actually not sure if I'm like. I'll just say this: someone that I am relatively close to is joining the Bohemian Grove thing. 100, swear on my kids, is going to be a Bohemian Grove member, and said that they can bring guests. And he said he'd bring me. I was like, nice, man. I was like, so no, like weird, like Luciferian stuff. He's like, no, dude. He's like, it's more like drinking booze and like having a good time with people. I'm like, all right. I've seen the movie The Conspiracy, and that didn't go very well for the guests. But anyway, so anywho, Andrew Tate is in a tough spot, but only if he keeps going at them when he gets. And this is obviously operating under the assumption that he is being targeted, because I'm sure that he is, But now, once he gets out, even if they don't make a deal with him, like, he doesn't need to talk about that stuff anymore. Like, he really genuinely does not ever need to say a word about those people anymore. That's not like, he can be successful with a brand that is focused on just being your best self, because he's excellent at delivering that message, and people need that stuff, man. Like, if people are not self-motivated, if they're in a place in their life where they can't see a way forward that leads to a life that they'll be proud to have lived, listening to someone like him motivate them and actually teach them how to get themselves to a place where they can see a bright future, it's important and it's really helpful. And there's a lot of value in that. Like, today I was talking to this girl at this thing I was at, and she had a baby when she was 18, and she was talking about, like, I'm like 18. She's like, yeah, the kid's 13 now. And I was like, what was that like? She's like, she was working as, I'm like, what did you do? She's like, I got a job. And I'm like, doing what? And she's like, I was a custodian at a high school. And this girl's a smoke show, like a smoke show, super hot. And I was like, wait, you were 18, you're a custodian? She's like, yeah. She's like, I was just so depressed, man. And, obviously this led to her doing a bunch of things, taking steps, and now, has created an incredible life for herself. And, like, people can be in what seems like totally unfixable situations, but you can always make your situation better. It just always requires action. Like, no one's life is ever improved sitting around and thinking about why their life isn't awesome. It's like, that's not the way. Some people can get there self-motivated. Some people need Andrew Tate. That's where you should focus. That's where you should focus all of his energy, is being that voice, because he'll be able to generate millions doing that, millions of dollars doing that. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about doing the same thing. I just can't really figure out what the structure should be. Like, where do I do that? Where do I collect them? And I can talk about specific strategies for how to improve your life. And then I want to actually put together a templated workshop to get people from where they are to moving towards something better. Because there is I've never been good at taking things that I understand in my brain and then putting it into a format that's digestible, even though it seems so simple in my brain. There's like this like weird, but like I really believe I could actually put together a system that helps people, like, kind of going through a process, identify, something that they actually want, and then how to start taking action to get there. Because the thing is, once you start moving in that direction, that feeling that you have that like empty feeling that you have goes away. You know, like that's just true. It's not accomplishing the goal that makes that feeling go away. It's deciding what the goal is and then making a plan and then sticking to the plan. That makes the feeling go away. Now, once you actually make it to one of the goals that you set, that's obviously an incredible feeling. But that empty, like that weight in your stomach of like failure and stagnation, that will go away immediately. Immediately. As soon as you set a course and then you start doing the things that you're going to do. MMA holes, what's up, dog? Talking about motivational speakers, me and my Jester in talks with David Goggins for In Studio UFC 287 in April. Bro, you better, dude, you better squat up because I have heard that guy brings pain everywhere that he goes, dude. Like he'll be like, yeah, I'll do your show as long as we do a workout beforehand. And what workout means is like, you know, he'll be like, how many burpees do you think you could do? You're like, I don't know, maybe he's like, yeah, consecutively. He's like, yeah, consecutively. You're like, I don't know, maybe like 60s. I'll do 300. You're all, I said 60s, and I said 300. Get after it. He's a badass though. He's a badass. He's like, that guy's story he's the quintessential example of exactly what I'm talking about, dude. Like he is the absolute quintessential example of exactly what I'm talking about. Like, and he set an absolutely impossible goal. His goal, impossible. He's a 300-pound guy who can't even run a quarter mile, can't even jog a quarter mile. And he's like, I want to become a Navy SEAL. And he's like in his 20s. Okay, guy, good luck. Did it. One day at a time. Because he just started moving in that direction and he embraced the suck. Old man still can. Thank you very much, good sir. Hell yeah, I hope you get your project to help people going. I will. It's like, do I want to do like a Discord? I need to be able to like live stream, but have it be like community based where like, I don't want to do it through this channel. Obviously it needs to be somewhere else where it's hosted and like, it's just like, I mean, literally this is just like exactly what I'm talking about. I need to actually set a date that I want to have it done by, build the outline. And then once I do that, then I just do it. You know what I mean? And literally all I have to do is just practice exactly what I'm talking about. Thank you for the super chat. Embrace the suck, man. Do it on OnlyFans. Dude, I mean, OnlyFans absolutely can be used for that, but I don't know. Like, I feel like OnlyFans is more like watch me, you know, where it's just like, here, watch me. I don't know. Maybe there's functionality I don't know about. I haven't really used it very much, where it's like I don't want it to just be watch me. I want to be able to live stream, but I want to be able to interact with people, answer people, you know, bring people in. They can come on for, you know, whatever night I do it. Like, you know, if I do it, say 3 nights a week, we'll have a night where a couple people come on, they talk specifically about their situation. I'll respond to them and lay it all out for them. You know, all that stuff. I mean, so I don't want to say that word out loud, but Chris, there's a thing that you can do where you take a piece of code, and I can show you how to do it. And then you put it over here, and then everything that you do here automatically goes over there. So like if you go over there, every video I've ever done on either of my channels is over there. So like when I deleted JOE, that channel, every single video I have ever done on that channel is over there. And actually more videos are, because there are videos that I put up here and then I deleted and they're still over there. So, and it just like, it'll do your entire library. Like every single thing you've ever done on this channel will automatically go over there. It's crazy. I was nervous to do it because I thought that like, you know, they would figure it out and then like, you know, suppress. And who knows, maybe they have, but thank you, Meat 18. Much Appreciated, good sir. Sorry, I was just double tracking. I was double tracking reading this. Embrace the suck is the name of Jesse New Orleans. Oh man. Hey, the new logo is just this with like just a huge, it's like embrace this, embrace it. So, what do you think about the channel?
Don't talk like a pussy. You sound like a pussy.
Jeez. So, look at this, dude. Timeout. I'm timeouting people, dude. So, ADHD on fire is right. All right. So the other topic I wanted to talk about was the Francis Ngannou situation. So, yeah. So there's leaked text messages between Ali Abdelaziz and hang on. Because honestly, I wasn't, and maybe this is embarrassing that I didn't know who this was, but I didn't know who this was. So it's between Tolia Solyanov. You know what? Let's look him up. Tolia Solyanov. Let's just see who this dude is, because this is actually really important. Okay, so he's the owner of Hardcore Boxing League in Moscow, Russia. Okay, he owns it. Okay, so anyway, so there's leaked text messages between Ali Abdelaziz and this dude, Tolia Solyanov. God damn it. It's embarrassing, dude. For someone who gets along with every Eastern European person I've ever met, I really, really, really suck at pronouncing their names. Right? Asner, what are you doing right now? You want to come on and help me pronounce that last name? So, anyway, so the text messages said, Ali just said, he said, Francis is my friend, but I don't manage him. And Tolia goes, yes, I know that you're friends. And Ali Abdelaziz said he wants to make 30 million. And Tolia says, Ngannou wants to make 30 million from one fight. And Ali says, yes. So, I mean, like the update there is that Francis is looking to make $30 million from his fight. And that is not an unreasonable starting place, assuming that he's going to fight Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury. Here's the other thing, too. I have always been of the opinion that it is highly likely that the boxing purses are drastically exaggerated to help sell the fights, right? Like, bottom line, when you're promoting an event, the only thing that matters, only one thing that matters is, are you driving interest in the event? Are people paying attention? Does this feel like a big event to them, right? And, being down to lie, cheat, and steal as it relates to promotions, par for the course, dude. Okay? So which story sounds more compelling, So Conor McGregor is going to fight Floyd Mayweather, and, he's set to make $10 million, and Floyd is going to make around 25. Or Conor McGregor is going to make $100 million from this one fight, and Floyd is probably going to make around $350 million. You're like, God damn. Like, you hear that yourself. Are you going to go tell someone like, hey, Conor's set to make $10 million on this fight? Floyd is set to make set to make 25. No. But if if you hear Connor's gonna make 100 and Floyd's gonna make 350, then guess what? You're gonna go tell every single person about that, right? Now, in the case of Connor and Floyd, I'm not questioning their figures. I'm just like, that is the highest selling pay-per-view event of all time, except for maybe Manny Pacquiao and Floyd. But when it comes to these events, saying that the fighters are making an astronomical amount of money definitely benefits the marketing effort. And so it's always been my opinion that I think it's highly likely they exaggerate it. I don't know that for sure, but it seems logical to me. So, so if Francis was going to make $30 million and let's say Tyson Fury is going to make $30 million themselves, it's $60 million between the two of them, and then, I mean, I don't know, dude. Like if you're selling pay-per-views at, you get money from sponsors and I don't know, dude. The finances never, I don't really need to even think through the finances, because bottom line is Francis is not worth $30 million a fight unless he's fighting Deontay or Tyson Fury, in which case he is. And so they should only be talking about those two guys, or maybe what's his name? Oh my God. What is wrong with me, dude? This is like it's like Dana when he couldn't remember Islam Makhachev's name. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is wrong with me, dude? I don't even know. So I'm just waiting for someone in the text or in the messages to put it up there, because everybody knows who I'm talking about. And I'm really Anthony Joshua. Exactly. Jesus, man. That is concerning, dude. That is concerning. That happens to me too often now. Like information that I very much know, and I just can't recall it sometimes. It's like I can't pull it out of the mush brain. It's really bizarre, dude. But yeah, I mean, hang on. Let me catch up on the chat really quick. Depends. How much are you going to pay? If you super chat right now, if you super chat $200, I will show you. Oh, actually, I can't show it on here, can I? Yeah, there's no way to facilitate that on here. I would have showed you one for $200 though. But can you afford $200? Unlikely. I'm just putting people in timeout, dude. You go actually no. Yeah, dude. How I do videos is I'm a conceptual artist. I talk about the human experience. I think that's why my analytics are what they are. We're like my demographic, like 18 to 24 is barely anyone, like of my numbers. 24 to 35 and 35 to 40, whatever, are the two biggest ones. And my guess is that's because they've got some life under their belt, So like when I talk about actual real life, they can relate to it, Hang on. No, I would have done it, dude. I mean, her face wouldn't have been in it, but I would have showed you that perfect ass for $200. Come on now. See? Yeah, but you are obviously wise for your years. I'm just kidding. I didn't say it's not like zero. Like there's some 18 to 24 that watch. It's just lower than the other groups. Yeah. Oh my Dude, you want to know how you know that I don't copy anyone else's content? Is I don't watch anyone else's content. Literally no one's. Like I watch no one's content. Jose, I just got your email, dude. I'll respond to that as soon as I get off. So, Strick, what's up, pimp? You guys, for a long time, I thought Strickland's burner was actually Sean Strickland, or at least I thought it was plausible. Dude, you guys want to know a story about Sean Strickland? Check this out. True story. So, I watch yours, dude. You know I watch yours. I go say what's up all the time. I'm saying like other people, like when people like break down fights and shit, like I very rarely watch them just because I just really don't have time, dude. I don't have time. But whenever you guys are live, I always go on. I said I was on your guys' live stream last night. Wait. I was on your guys' live stream. Whenever you guys had that black dude on, what was that, 2 nights ago? 2 nights ago, I think. I said, what's up? I do watch the Weasel. But anyway, so Strickland's burner. Here's a real story about Strickland. So there's a new channel called the 10-7 podcast. And it's a fan of this channel. And then a dude named Justin, who's a UFC fighter out of Extreme Couture. And so I was like, they're good too, dude. I mean, like it usually takes a while for like a MMA channel to get going, but like, yeah, they're like, dude, I think they're going to do well. I really do, dude. If they get good, they get good thumbnails, they get good, camera and audio. Yeah, I think they'll do well. But anyway, so Justin's at Extreme Couture, and I asked him, I was like, dude, you think you could put me with Strickland? Like, cause I was just going to see if he wanted to come on the show. So Strickland told him he would come on my show for $2,000. I'm like, what? Like, why on earth would I pay $2,000? Why would I pay $2,000 to have Strickland on the show? And you know what I said? I was like, dude, you should tell him that if he thinks that there's money to pay someone $2,000 to come on their show, why wouldn't he start a YouTube channel? He would blow up overnight. The Sean Strickland channel. I mean, he'd get demonetized in 5 seconds. Hey, Chris, what do you think about that, dude? How long do you think it would take before Strickland got demonetized? 2 seconds, dude. But yeah, $2,000. $2,000. I'm like, I don't understand. Where does he think that like that $2,000, like how on earth would I possibly make that $2,000 back by having him on my show? You know what I mean? Like it's bizarre. 18 weeks. Oh, dude, if you're going 18 weeks, then I assume that you're saying 17 weeks to get monetized and then 1 week to get demonetized maximum. Yeah, Patty the Batty, I heard, tries to charge too, which I just don't understand. Like for everybody, and obviously Chris can verify this, okay? No one is ever going to pay these fighters to come on their show unless they are stone rookies. Like they might be able to pull this heist on new channels that don't really understand how this all works yet. But anyone with any experience in this game, no one is going to pay them to bring them on, because how much money do you think how much money do you think we make on this? Like he comes on for a single podcast episode. Like we do 30 minutes, does 100,000 views. Like first of all, it's going to get demonetized for him being on it. Okay. First of all, it's going to get demonetized for him. Right. But even if it didn't, how much money do you think you get for 100,000 views? You really think that like there's money to pay somebody $2,000? It's ridiculous. even if I pre-sold the episode, monetized it through YouTube, sold multiple, and then did multiple ad reads in there, then like if you did all of that, you're still probably coming out net. You're still coming. I mean, depending on who the sponsor was. There are certain sponsors where that you might end up coming out a little bit positive there. But like, how does that make any sense, dude? No, I know he doesn't know, but my point is like, if he thinks that there's that amount of money in there, why does he start a YouTube channel? Like if it's, you really think we make that much money, then why wouldn't you start a channel? Brandon, what's up, dog? How'd your boy do yesterday? And I definitely think we're probably going to come to you. Oh, dude. I can't believe I hadn't thought of this, dude. Let me see if the McDaniels want to go to that one. Then we'll really knock the world down. They're like, is that Jesse on fire? Just kidding. Is that Mike McDaniel, the coach of the fucking Dolphins? I was like, that's him. That's him. Although I don't know the exact date that is. So they like Mike literally has like 2 months out of the year that he can hang out. McDaniel's such a stud, dude. In person, he's I'm like I said, 5'10", I don't know, 195 pounds. He is significantly smaller than me. Same height, maybe like around the same height, but like 20 pounds easy less. But he's a stud, dude. He's such a badass. The day that he got the coordinator job for the Niners, Gabrielle and I we went to dinner with him and Katie, and he had just that day found out that he was getting the coordinator job, which is a huge deal in an NFL coaching career. Like, I mean, it's an astronomical pay bump. And then when he got offered, so he got that job. Then the next year, he got his new coordinator contract. So he was paid. I don't know. I'm just ballparking. I'm pretty sure that first year he got bumped up to where he was making like 575 or something like that. But then the next year, they had a running game coordinator and a passing game coordinator. So McDaniel was a running game coordinator, and oh my God, the dude whose older brother is the Packers head coach, LaFleur, and he was the passing game coordinator. And I can't remember exactly how this played out, but Mike negotiated a new contract, like, right before that second season. And he got that contract the day that we brought our whole family. We were staying at their house. And it was like he was going to go to making, I think it was like 1.8 a year or something like that. And he found that out that day. And he's like, dude, every time I hang out with you, it's like some magic. Like, he's like, you're good luck, man. He's like, every time I have something huge happen, dude, we're hanging out. Oh, you want to know? Hey, you guys want to know how this is a lie? You think I would ever be in a Subway? Please, dude. I don't eat that garbage. That was an imposter. No, we just talked to them. They're on vacation in the Bahamas. See? That's them in the Bahamas. All right. So exactly the opposite of cooler. Yeah. I definitely do not have a hall pass for Polyana Viana. Not even a little bit. Rate your girlfriend's legs and thighs on a scale of 1 to 10. Oh, that picture? That's kind of hard to see, dude. A high mark. It looks good. Jesse, on this channel, I think you make 1,000 a week. Wait, what are you? Oh, like just on this channel, I make more than that. But I certainly don't make enough to pay Sean Strickland $2,000. But bottom line is, I think much bigger. Like there, I can never get earnings on this channel to where I'm like, all right, I'm really killing it. That's why I'm like strategically expanding in other places. Cause like, you know, it's only been a couple months since I decided I was actually going to do this full time. And so, but I don't do things unless I'm going to do them. So it's like, I make sure this is a direction that I'm going, set it up and then go. And then I really try to throttle it. I can't believe I lost my second channel. I just want to die thinking about that, but whatever. Yeah, but I know the channel keeps growing, but like, this is the thing. So again, everybody's success, you know, measurement is tied to where they see themselves, right? Like I'm extraordinarily grateful for what's happened with the channel for sure. I'm not like I don't want to like sound like I'm being flippant about where the channel is, because I'm not. It's obviously extraordinarily challenging to do the success, you know, like to do this. And I feel really good about it. But my goal and vision was never to be like the biggest MMA channel on YouTube. It was like, I want to build a really successful channel in the MMA space. I want to get connected to all these guys that I'm, you know, like a lot of them I'm now friends with. And then I want to expand from there and get much, much, much bigger as a brand, much bigger than I could possibly be just in the MMA space. So there's always like, you know, I'm never going to like shut this down, but this was always like a launching pad into something that I could scale much bigger. And the thing about this channel, like growing, and one of the main reasons for that is because there's only like, the market is only so big, you know, there's only so many views in MMA YouTube. There's only so many video views, period. Like there is a ceiling to how many there are. You're never going to capture all of them. You're always going to be splitting them among, you know, multiple other channels. And the absolute pinnacle ceiling of where you could get if you're the biggest channel on MMA YouTube is significantly lower than where I'm aiming to, you know, to feel like, okay, like I did it, you know? So that's why I actually feel like this, like the phase that I'm at right now, I feel this like angst. Cause I've hit the ceiling here. And so now it's like, this was always phase one and I have accomplished phase one. And so it's like, okay, well now I really need to be very serious, strategic, identify exactly what stage two looks like, and then go start working towards it. Like I don't do well with stagnation. Like I don't like I get depressed very quickly. Like not, I don't know if depressed is the right word, but like, but I get I don't know. Anxious very quickly. Like if I feel like I'm not moving in a direction that I want to go, or like, especially if I feel like I'm not doing it just because I'm lazy, that just eats me alive. But like, so I'm at this place where I need to literally just set the map for exactly what I'm trying to do and then start working that direction. because, you know, it is what it is. This is a 49ers signed by my boy, Bruce Miller, who subsequent to this had a massive scandal that almost destroyed his entire life as a result of dating a girl that I knew from college who is an absolute smoke show, but is crazy. I could tell you guys all about that story. James Lawrence, thank you very much. Connor Aldo did have breakfast in the same room, and I believe it. I believe it. Musical, what's up, bro? I didn't insult. Oh, dude. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, how about I just say, go fuck yourself here? You know, I don't want to insult you over there so that you could screenshot it and then make it seem like I was, you know, actually talking shit. You think I'm going to walk into your little bear trap like Jake Paul set for Tommy Fury? You're all go over there and talk shit, dude. You're like, just be a joke. I promise me and Rigo, we won't use it and put it into a video. I promise. I see it coming, guy. But yeah, the story was, so, okay. I mean, this is easy to look up. So I was just like, should I use her name? I'm going to not use her name just out of respect because just in case she saw it, she lives in Texas now. She actually lives in Austin, I think. So this girl went to my college, Chico State. And I like kind of knew who she was in college. She was like a little bit younger than me. But she's so hot, dude. Like it's, and I'm trying to think where I met her. Like, so I lived in Walnut Creek at the time. I went to Fidelity Investments one time and she was working there. And as soon as it was like, she's like one of those girls who are like this, you walk it kind of like how I was saying, like with Laura Senko, you see, and you're like, whoa, you know, they like, just, it's like a firework goes off and catches your eye. Cause you're like, they're like that hot, very rare. So she was one of those, like I was like, holy shit. And then I was like, wait a minute, is that girl from Chico? And it was, anyway. So I started rapping out with her, like just when I was there and then kind of put it all together that she was from this Chico thing, whatever. And one of this family that we're like family friends with is friends with her. And she was like, yeah, she's single, you know? And so I was like trying to rack my brain for like buddies of mine. I was like, man, but then I started hearing stories from Chico about her that were like very, like very red flaggy. You know what I mean? Like really red flaggy. But it's like, it's honestly, but she's so funny. Like this chick, this is one of the funny, like I don't throw funny around very easy, dude. Like I really don't. She is so clever. Like she's fucking hilarious. She is genuinely hilarious. Super, super quick-witted, super funny. A fucking hard 10. And what I've actually learned in my life as a grown-up is that pretty girls that are funny are always crazy. Like, you know, like if they're like legit funny, like not like, oh, she's funny because she's pretty and she jokes around, but they're like legit, very, very clever and very funny. Every single girl that I've ever met like that, and there's only a handful, have all been totally, totally crazy. No, not feminist, like crazy, like I'll find you, you know. Once you get under the hood a little bit, they're like, don't think you're leaving with your cell phone. Anywho, so the stories about her that I had heard were like fake pregnancy. That's like that, like for real fake pregnancy, right? And then also a fake charge on a guy. Like you know, she showed up at this party that this dude that I was friends with. I heard this story there. Anyway, they were dating and she showed up and they were in a fight. And he was like, you need to leave. He's like, you need to go. You're embarrassing yourself. You need to go. And sternly told her to leave in front of everybody. Didn't put a hand on her. Didn't even yell. Just told her to leave. And she came back with the cops and said that he had hit her. And everyone was like, that's a complete lie. That is a complete lie. So like stuff like that, right? So, but that's years ago. That's in college, right? And there is a certain level of hotness that can just melt the judgment of a dude. And especially like if you didn't know anything about her, like, so this is when I was running Major League Fantasy and I got connected with Bruce Miller, the fullback for the 40, best blocking fullback in the NFL. Super cool guy, dude. Like a really, really genuinely, like really, really nice dude. And as soon as we started hanging, like talking and hanging out, like he came and signed some balls, we hit it off instantly. Or so we like texted all the time. We were buddies or whatever. And then he started dating that girl. And it just through just randomly. And it was like, oh man. And it's been years since all this crazy stuff happened. So good for him. She's a girl that, just to put this in perspective, it's like, you could literally know all of the things that I have just told you, that like fake pregnancy, fake charge. And if you were hanging out with her and she was like, I would like you to hold my hand and then walk me to my hotel room, you wouldn't even fucking think for a millisecond about it. There is no dude on earth, unless they are faithful to their wife beyond all, options. No one is saying no to her, dude. No one. She's ridiculous. So part of me is just jealous. I'm like, man, dude, he's going to get to tap that lucky bastard. So they have a really good thing going for a while. Like, because he's in the NFL, she starts getting like kind of like a social media following, because they're like, oh my God, Bruce Miller's girl is so fucking hot, dude. Derp. So when we filmed the reality show, right? When we filmed the reality show, Bruce Miller was set to come on set, and I can't remember what the scene we were going to do was, but like, it was like a big deal. Like, it was like, he was coming, he was going to be, because like he was one of my sponsored athletes or whatever. He was going to come in, we were going to do a scene, whatever. So the day before, we were filming all week. The day before, I texted him. I'm like, hey, I'm just confirming you're going to be at the office at 9 a.m. And he was like, and he called me. And he's like, listen, man, he's like, I'm really sorry. He's like, I can't come. And I was like, I was like, what the fuck, man? And I was like, you can't come. I'm like, dude, we got this whole thing set up. He's like, I'm really, really sorry. He's like, but I'm actually at home in Georgia. And so I was like, oh shit. I'm like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's nothing serious with my family or anything. He's like, it's just kind of dumb. I got in some trouble. And I was like, you got in trouble? He's like the nicest dude in the world. So he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't really want to get into it, but I got in trouble. I'm like, all right. Sounds like you got a lot going on. Don't worry about it. An hour later, literally an hour later on the radio, they're like, Bruce Miller was arrested for domestic battery 36 hours ago in San Jose with an incident with blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and Gugabi, correct. That is the correct name. But stop saying it or I'm going to put you on timeout. So it's like, yeah, it's like, domestic battery in San Jose. And I was like, what? And I told you guys, I knew a story about her putting a fake charge on a dude. And so I was like, no way. And so I immediately texted him and I was like, dude, I don't want to talk about your girl in any type of way, but bottom line, if you tell me that you're not guilty of this, I believe you. Like if you're saying you didn't do that, I believe you. And he immediately called me, and then I became like his confidant in this whole thing, right? Like where he was like, dude, he's telling me like exactly what happened, and the details of the case weren't out yet, but he was like, look, he's like, this is exactly what happened. He's like, I can't remember. One of them had been out of town, and the other one picked him up from the airport. I'm pretty sure she picked him up from the airport. So he gets home. She picks him up from the airport. He goes into her phone for some reason. And he's like, look, he's like, bottom line, I found some shit in her phone that should not have been there. He's like, and so we were arguing. He's like, we were arguing, obviously. And, okay, Gugabi, you're on timeout, dude. I told you not to repeat things. Anyway, so he's like, we were fighting. He's like, 100% we were fighting. He's like, so we pulled over into a parking lot. He's like, and she's not saying the right things. He's like, and I'll just be honest. He's like, I lost it. And so I threw her phone on the ground and I got into my car and I left her there. And I was like, okay, what else? He's like, that's it. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, he's like, yes, dude. He's like, the domestic battery charge is because I smashed her phone. I'm like, no way. He's like, yes, dude. I broke her phone. That's what I got arrested for. So, and when the details of the case came out, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. He broke her phone and left her there. And, you know, I would imagine what he found. I mean, I never verified exactly what was in the phone, but I would imagine what he found in the phone was, oh, she's cheating on you while she's either, you know, while he's out of town or whatever. So yeah, so that ended up being that case, right? I actually think that they stayed together. I can't remember if they stayed together or not. God, I can't remember. But what ended up happening was maybe like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months later, there's a story that Bruce Miller was in a hotel and he was wasted, tried to go to a room that he thought was his, and it was someone else's room. And when they wouldn't let him in and were pushing, he beat the shit out of 2 people, like a dude and his dad, like fucked them up bad, supposedly. And I'm sitting there like, what? Like, this is impossible. Like, this story is impossible. That I know this guy. There's no way that he would have done that. And then the security video came out that had been taken, because this was a fucking enormous story, dude. This is an enormous story. He was facing a lot of time. Like he was in, this was a really big deal, dude. So it was all over the news. And they released a security tape of him in this restaurant from earlier that night. And oh my God, he was fucking annihilated, dude. Like he was like, it was one of those things like I've talked about, like what I was talking about with my Connor video, where you just don't know. Like if you've never been drunk with someone, you don't fucking know, dude. And it was like, oh, he's a gorilla if he drinks. Like he's a gorilla, dude. And so that really happened. He beat the living shit out of some dude and his kid, or some dude and his dad, and he was gone for his life over instantly. Like where got kicked out of the NFL, or he got cut. No one would sign him. He was facing charges. He finally got back in the NFL after like, I don't even know. Like I think it took him like, let me actually look. I think it took like 4 or 5 years before he got back in the league. I'm actually very curious. So oh my God, dude. So, okay. So he signs his last contract for the Niners was a 3-year, $5.5 million contract with a $1.7 million signing bonus. And this happened in 2015. And 2015, the next contract he signed was in 2020. And it was with the Jacksonville Jaguars for $108,000. I don't even know how that's even possible. That's under the league minimum. $108,000. Destroyed his life. Destroyed, like really, like just, I mean, or at least like upended his life completely. I'm trying to think of like how, because I remember there was some way that Leanne was involved in that second fight too. Like, unless maybe I just talked to her about it afterwards and she told me like, she's like, you don't understand what he's like when he's drunk. I think that might just be what it was I spoke to her and she was like, you don't get it. He's not like that when he's sober. Or he's, anyway. I don't know. But even knowing all of that, okay, even knowing all of that, I will tell you unequivocally, if I had been single and Leanne was like, so you want to try giving this thing a run dating? 2 seconds. You go in with your eyes open like, well, this is probably going to end in disaster, but there's a certain level of sexual attractiveness that I just, can't say no to. She's still not as hot as Gabrielle, though. Never has, never will. I would love to see Bo Nickel versus Hamzat, man. Oh, dude. Hot girls, they can manipulate anybody. That's what they do. I've already been I've been like preparing my at least my oldest daughter for it, where I'm like, look, there's going to be this new factor in your social interactions that's going to start coming into play in about 2 years that I'll explain to you when you get there. But the bottom line is you are going to be in a situation where you have something that every guy wants, which means that you can either use that as an asset or you can become a victim because they're constantly trying to trick you out of it. And she's like, all right. I'm like, so you need to be very skeptical with people. You can't just assume that people are telling you the truth all the time, because people who want things from you don't always tell the truth. They just want to get that thing. She's like, all right, just leave that in the brain. And then when it comes time for me to explain it to her, it's already there. What? I did not say I would cheat on my wife. I would never cheat on Gabrielle. I said if I was single, and I knew everything I knew about Leanne, and she was like, hey, let's date, I would be like, well, this probably ends with her burning my house down, but fuck it. The steak analogy. Exactly, dude. This is one of the best metaphors I've ever come up with in my life. And thank you, Brian Chumbler, for reminding me. So the steak analogy is this. Okay. The way that girls experience sex drive, extraordinarily different from men, not even remotely the same. The way dudes experience their sex drive is it's like hunger for food. Okay. There's literally not a difference. It's like a hunger for food. It's, you see a smoke show girl who's dolled up, whatever. You look at them and you want to fuck them the same way that you want to eat a steak that's been cooked to perfection that's sitting on a plate in front of you, And it's like, dude, you're going to say whatever you need to say to try to eat that steak if you're fucking starving. You know what I mean? And like with girls, I have daughters, man. Okay. If they're hungry, they are annoying little shits, dude. They come up, they'll badger me, lie to me, whatever. They'll do exactly the same kinds of things that boys will do to try to get laid, to try to get food. It's just that to boys, that's their sex drive. Girls, it's just not the same thing. So if I can get girls to understand that concept, then they will always see it coming. They'll always see it coming. I'm going to be like, you are a T-bone steak in front of a starving guy who hasn't eaten in 7 days. Okay. That's the reality. Always think about that. And the reason why you know jiu-jitsu is because if anybody tries to eat your fucking steak without your permission, you snap their arm in half and you strangle them unconscious, and then you call your dad, and then I'll decide what to do with them after. Aw. Hopperfy, you're on timeout, dude. God, timeout's the best, dude. Grappling match. Gordon submits Hamzat in 30. Yeah. Hamzat has no chance in a grappling match against Gordon Ryan. Obviously. Jesse, tell us what's up with Tate. Yeah. Tate he got his stay in jail extended again. 30 more days. 30 more days, dude. Which is just ridiculous, dude. I mean, it's just like, it just feels so wrong, dude. You know, like they just extended it again. Still no case. They're not bringing any new evidence, nothing. They're just like, just follow. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm going to butcher that name. I'm going to call you Driss. And thank you very much, dude. Driss, I genuinely very much appreciate that. Thank you very much, dude. I finally caught you live, man. Love the content. Thank you. Thank you, dude. Thank you very, very much, dude. But yeah. So I don't know, dude. It's like, if it were me and I was Andrew Tate, I would be tripping right now, dude. Like, I would be tripping right now. It's like, because if nothing else, he's sitting in a cell with the realization that he has no control. And he's a guy who is a control freak, obviously. And he has no control, dude. Like, he has no control. None. No control. And he's going to be sitting in a cell until someone who just has total control and power over his life decides that they're just going to let him out. No charge. Yeah, no charges at all. They're like, yeah, we'll just let you go for 30 days. They're all, what's the evidence? They're like, well, we don't believe the Tates. You're all, believe him about what? Well, we believe the accusers. What did the accusers say that they did? What's the evidence? You know? It's like, it's just ridiculous, man. Or am I a spazzy white belt? No, I've been training for 2 years. And I've trained in 2 years, the equivalent of, like, I don't know what like regular people do. Like, what do they do? Like 2 classes a week or something? Like I think the Gracie Baja minimum is like 2 classes a week. If you want to belt up, it's like Gracie Baja, if you do 2 classes a week for a year, then you get your blue belt, right? So what? Yeah. 2 classes a week for a year is 100 classes, right? So well, it's not quite 2 years. So I've been training for 22 months. So let's see, 22 times 4 weeks is 88. And I'll say, just because I was out for like 6 weeks, I would say I've trained, and this is definitely on the low side, an average of 3.5 classes a week. It's probably more like 4.5. That's 308 classes. That's probably really on the low side. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. I train a lot more than regular people. I think I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to do this like 10th Planet Thursday night fights thing as soon as my arm is better. My buddy did it last night, and they put them up live on YouTube. So they're exactly the equivalent of like what a smoker kickboxing match was like when I did those in San Diego, where you just like get people from other gyms and then kind of do like a match or whatever. My buddy did it last night. I didn't even know it existed until this week. And of course I'm fucking injured. So Urban Paradise. Thank you very much, dude. So apparently there are whispers inside certain circles. They're going to keep the Tate bros for the full 6 months they're allowed to. I know, dude. I know. It's insane, dude. I bet you that they will. And I bet you they will. I bet you that they won't bring them to court. And if that happens, it's literally just I mean, if you like, that's a message, right? Like if they do that, it's just a message, man. That's all it is. I will admit that is embarrassing. Using a calculator for 22 times 4. What an idiot, dude. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, most people do 2 hours a week. I do significantly more than that. Although I can't train now and it's awful. I was training, like I was actually like I was going to like some days I would go to class at 6:30 in the morning and then I would go home and then I would come back and do a class that night. Cause generally on Mondays and Wednesdays, I would do 2 classes. I would do no gi and then gi. So that's 2 hours. I mean, actually, yeah, because my normal schedule when I'm like, in my normal routine would be, I'll do 2 hours on Mondays, 2 hours on Wednesday. I'd probably do 3 classes between those 2 days and then Tuesday, Thursday. So then that's 5. And then usually I would do, sometimes, I mean, anytime that I can, I do open mat. Open mat's a little bit tough on Saturdays sometimes because of the family, but so 5, 4 to 6 classes a week, 4 to 6 hours a week. I just love it. I just love it. Wait, what? So much effort, money, and time, and you get a black piece. I mean, listen, you get the black belt as a reward. That's not why you train, dude. Like, at least people like me, like if you train as much as I do, I mean, yeah, the black belt, of course, like I'm going to keep going until I'm a black belt for sure, but I'm going to keep going after I'm a black belt also. It's like, it's like a thing that it's like this, when you first start, if you're kind of like a rough and tumble guy, you can go in there and you'll, roll with like some white belts or whatever, and you'll do well against like, if you're just like naturally athletic, then you'll go against someone, like even like a good white belt, and they'll destroy you, like just destroy you. And you're like, what the fuck? Go against a blue belt and you can just feel that they're just like, yeah, go ahead, do that. Take your back, arm bar you. You go against someone higher than that when you're first starting, it's just like, they just do whatever they want with you. And you're like, I can't believe that someone could just do that, Like, I don't understand. And then when you start to wrap your brain around how big jiu-jitsu is, like how much there is, it's really overwhelming when you first look at it. But then if you just commit to the process, like for me, what I have to do with things like this is like with the channel, it was like, all right, I am going to, I'm not going to worry about the stats. I'm going to just do 7 videos a week minimum. And like with jiu-jitsu, it's like, I'm just going to do this many classes minimum a week. And then, the goal that I set ended up not being enough because I love it so much. And so I eclipsed that, but I just focus on just going as much as I can. And then when I train, being super, super present and really paying attention and trying to like absorb as much information as I can. And then you just start feeling yourself making progress and you're like, oh shit. Like look at that. I just did, I just did this to this. I just did that to that. I had no idea how to do that 2 months ago. And then you start to figure other things out, big concepts. You start thinking about details and you can just feel yourself and then you can actually start to see, like I'm at a place now where I can see, myself being one of these guys that's exceptional at jiu-jitsu. It's going to take years, but like I will get there. Like I can tell you that unequivocally, like barring me getting like a fucking leg amputated, by the time Giselle is like, what's Giselle, 10? I don't know. Like, wait, 10. By the time Giselle is going to like her homecoming dance, I'm going to be real fucking nasty, dude. Really fucking nasty. Because you just have to go and go and go. There's no way to cheat your way to like advance. And I just love that shit. Like I love committing to long processes and just doing the work, dude. Like just doing the work. And I just never tied any ego to it at all. Like I've always been really good at embracing being shitty at stuff that I know I'm just starting at. Like when I was first starting playing golf, I would play with these guys that were like exceptional golfers. And I started to get half decent at golf, like where I could shoot in like the high 80s or whatever, but I had a really strong long drive. And I still would always say to them, like, no matter how well I played, I would always talk about how much better they are than me. And they're like, dude, you're so fucking humble, man. I'm like, well, it would be ridiculous for me to act like I'm good. We're keeping score. You guys beat the shit out of me every time that we play. It's like jiu-jitsu. Be ridiculous for me to say I'm good at jiu-jitsu when I get worked. But when every single time I go to the gym, there are tons of people that I have absolutely no chance against. So what's the point of like, there's no benefit to like thinking of yourself as good, if that makes sense. Like there's no, now that's one thing I always do. I always do this, dude. Like, and just because like, I've actually been thinking about this a lot in the last 2 weeks I don't know why I was thinking, or, obviously this week I've been overwhelmed with being injured, but like previous couple weeks is I never seek out rounds against guys that I know I'll beat. Like I end up kind of matched up with them sometimes, but if I'm like, okay, who am I going to do a round against? I always go to someone that's better than me. And there's plenty of guys for me to pick from. But I was just thinking about how like, that's actually probably not the best thing for my game because like one thing that's improved astronomically for me over the last, 6 months is my defense. My defense is getting much, much better where like I can make it hard for really good guys to submit me sometimes. But just because I practice with guys that are 1,000 times better than me. And my goal is to not get submitted, And I was just thinking about how I don't spend enough time like choosing rounds with people that I'm much better than so that I can practice like things that I would never be able to get on these guys. Like, some of the guys that I roll with, like I've never even been in a, against Steve as an example, who's my professor, who's number one pound for pound in the world. I've never even been in like a moderately offensive position against him ever. Like never even seen like, oh, maybe if I do this, I could potentially mount some type of offense. Like, no, it's all how long can I last without getting, you know what I mean? And like, I was just thinking about how like, that's good for my defense, but it's like, it's not good for me, when I'm in a tournament or I'm in like a competition, feeling confident. I've got a guy's arm hooked and I'm on his back to like quickly transition and arm bar him instead of, like staying on his back. Like, because I don't just like, I have that. I just don't practice it enough because I don't take rounds with guys that I'm significantly better than. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Bottom line is, I just really want to be good. I really want to be good. And I'm going to compete my way. I'm just going to be competing too, though. Like that's the thing. That's the other thing about jiu-jitsu that I didn't understand is how much organized competition there is. If I would have known about that, if I would have known about all the organized jiu-jitsu competition, I mean, like I would have started then. Like whenever that was, I would have started then. That's what really, well, that's actually not really, but like that's a huge driver that you get to compete against, you know. It's like, oh, like this weekend, I was supposed to fight on Saturday and it was like, what division are you? It's like, how long have you been training for? It's like over 6 months, under 2.5 years. That's the division. I'm like that. And it's like, and what's your weight class? It's like 195. All right, cool. So you're going to be going up against someone who's 30. He's 36 years old and he's been training for less than 2.5 years. He weighs, less than 200 pounds, blue belt at, Gracie or Renzo Gracie. It's like, all right, because like you get matched up against people with your same experience level. So the thing is about this though, Bernie, is I actually heard George St. Pierre say the exact opposite. He said that that's why I was thinking about it for the last couple of weeks, is how I really should seek those out. I just feel like, okay, like George St. Pierre said, it's actually going against guys that you're much better than where you improve. Because you can try the things. Like I have a submission dummy at home and I do stuff on that all the time, but like, I don't know, like there's something about like, I don't like beating up my teammates, like I've never liked it. And so I feel kind of weird being like, hey, you want one? And he just knows, well, like even if I do, it's like, cause I could do that and then just put myself in bad positions. But like what I'm talking about is like the place I want to get better is like finishing from these different positions. And so like, I don't know. I just feel weird being like, all right, hey, let's do a round. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to fuck him up on this round, dude. I'm just going to strangle the shit out of him, take his arm. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing I learned, so, well, Bernie, it depends. It depends on what you're trying to learn. Like what I was saying, I'm going to get like, there's a million different facets to jiu-jitsu. So if I want to get better at defending from bad positions, then you fight against someone who's much better than you and you defend when they put you in a bad position, and you just get better. And then, but yeah, I mean, like if you want to practice some specific technique that you've been working on, like there's no technique that I could work on and then be like, hey, Steve, let's do a round. And then I'm going to be able to get repetition on that. Cause that's just like, he's an impenetrable fucking, like he's an impenetrable box. Like he's one of those, like, he's like a Rubik's cube. And no matter which move you make, it's always fucking wrong, dude. I love rolling with him though, dude. It's funny. And like, and rolling with Victor is funny because Victor's so much bigger than he's obviously, best in the world in a gi. And he feels like, cause he's obviously much bigger than me too, but it feels like he's like a cat playing with a ball of yarn. You know what I mean? It's like, and he'll like give me stuff. I'll tell you this, that I'm really bad at. Like, if I'm training with someone who's much better than me and I know they're giving me positions or they're giving me things, I'm really not good at like taking that and practicing a technique because psychologically I know they're giving it to me. I don't know. And I'm only thinking about like, I'm just thinking about ways that I can improve training, like the goal is to get better. Well, I need to get better at training. And these are the things I think I'm not doing well in, you know what I mean? Yeah. Gordon is better than everybody that he trains with. So that means he should never train with anybody because he would never get in. Yeah, exactly. No, you wouldn't, dude. If you grapple with a hot girl, you just like let her work on her stuff, you know, with any girl. Gordon Ryan's the best. He submits everybody, period. I really hope that this arm is not really bad because I really, really want to train and I can't. I was supposed to be fighting tomorrow, dude. I'm so bummed. Senko channel? Nope. Let me look that up though. Oh, look at that. Let's take a look together, you guys. Why wouldn't she name it one-on-one with Laura Senko? Like, I don't know. Why would she not put her name in the title of her YouTube channel? That's just silly. Wait, let's see. How long has she been doing this for? One year ago. Dude, look at this. Welcome to one-on-one, 300,000 views. Oh, she probably promoted that one, actually. Ask me anything. All right.
I have really weird feet. Again, not going to show them.
Dude, creeps ask Gabrielle to show her feet all the time.
Marketed Kansas City to the rest of the world. So like basically his job was to say why.
Dude, I'm just going to say this right now. Only like really, really hot girls, when they put on a hat, it like works, dude.
Kansas City is a great place to live and do business and get businesses to relocate or expand their operations. My best submission, rear naked choke, armbar. I'm actually really good at go-go platas because I do them differently than most people do. I have really weird feet. Again, I'm not going to show them. I shouldn't say weird feet. I have weird hips and knees and like really weirdly flexible legs in general. So it's hard for me to get heel hooked, but it also means like I can turn my omoplata into a go-go plata really easily in a way that most people can't. So maybe I'll film that one day.
Dude, Giselle is going to be able to do stuff like that. Giselle's so flexible. It's nuts, man. Wait, what? It's not a fight? Hey, what do you call a competition that ends if you break their limb or strangle them unconscious unless they tap out? That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Post it up here.
Dude, you should fight someone who knows jiu-jitsu and see if it feels like you're in a fight.
Your favorite, I'm sick and I'm gonna loaf around movie. I don't know. Princess Bride comes to mind. How great is that movie? I love that. I don't know. I like a lot of movies. My favorite movie is I just had a brain fart. Clearly it's your favorite movie, Laura. Oh my gosh. My favorite movie is Last of the Mohicans. I actually got married with it where they filmed that movie.
All right. So what we've established is she is a smoke. Yeah. I mean, hey, define a fight. Well, it's when two people, square off in combat and try to hurt each other. Whoever hurts the other person more wins. You're all right. And describe jiu-jitsu. It's like, well, two people are going to get into an enclosed space and they're going to wrestle with each other until they're able to isolate a limb and break it, or strangle them unconscious, or disjoint them. That's another way that it can fight. It can end, unless the person says, I quit. And then you let go and you don't break their arm or don't break their ankle. Don't shatter their knee. Don't strangle them unconscious. Right. Yeah, but if you punch each other in the face, that's a fight. I mean, would you rather get punched in the face or have someone shatter your forearm? Or get like your rotator cuff ripped out of its socket? There's no basically about it. It's a fucking fight, obviously. Like I said, get in a fight with someone who knows jiu-jitsu, throw punches at them. And if you don't know jiu-jitsu, go get in a fight with someone who does and see if you feel like you've been in a fight afterwards. Bisping said it. I would love to hear the context though. Yeah. I'm sure Bisping was breaking balls. Bisping's a brown belt. Wait. No, am I not doing? I'm saying everyone's destiny is already chosen for them, even crackheads and thugs. That is not accurate. You can have a destiny, but you have to do the things to get yourself there. Anybody who sits on their hands and goes, destiny, destiny, they're destined to be sitting on their fucking hands. If you believe that your destiny is something and then you do the work, then that is what your destiny will be. A private message from my diagnostic people?
This is ARA Diagnostic Imaging. We received an order for Jesse to schedule an exam with us.
Yeah, I did that. I already scheduled with you guys. That's the MRI people. So there's one at my gym. He's super fucking cool though. Speaking of which, actually, he has a CBD line of stuff that's actually really good. I gotta get a promo code from him. I'm gonna start plugging it. It's great. Especially this thing. He's got this spray that I put on my arm that I don't know how to describe it. It's awesome. I think I'm going to end with this one, you guys. Good one, dude. Actually, I'll end with this one. 7 Tuesdays is a wine label that my uncle who passed away had. There's a much longer story to why 7 Tuesdays was a thing. But it's a memorial tattoo for my uncle. Yeah, that is very rare. It is very rare, actually. I actually can't think of any crazy leftists, really. I mean, without talking about people's spouses, but nonetheless, dude, someone who's like really get bent out of shape talking politics, if they heard, ideas from right-wing people, that would be a rough go for them in jiu-jitsu gyms. All right. 2 hours. I got to jump. I'm taking Gabrielle out to dinner in 2 hours and I got to go get ready. Love you guys. Thank you guys for all the super chats and attention. I love you guys. Peace.